Go live. We are live.
Hi, Lisa. Larry.
The meeting is live.
I can call the meeting to order.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Newington Economic Development Commission meeting January 5th, 2022. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Noreen, could you take the roll call, please?
Surely. Commissioner Ancona,
Here.
Chairman Avey,
Here.
Commissioner Havens,
Here.
Commissioner Marsden, Commissioner Nagel, Commissioner Payne, Commissioner Rio.
Commissioner Nagel is here.
Okay. Commissioner Payne,
Here.
Commissioner Rio,
He resigned.
Commissioner Rosa. Pardon? Okay.
Commissioner Rob Rio resigned.
Right.
Okay.
And so did
Commissioner
Rosa.
Oh, okay. And Commissioner Stam.
He was here. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
he was. Maybe he'll be back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all set then.
Okay. Could I get an approval of the minutes for the December 1st, 2021 meeting?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
A second, okay, me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes. Any public participation? Okay. Next is the Chamber of Commerce report. Leslie, do you have anything?
Sure, I just would like to wish everybody a happy, healthy new year. It looks like 2022 is going to be a continuation of 2021. Our chamber meetings will remain on Zoom for at least the next month that we see. And we're gonna get back to some business networking, but as soon as we can, that'll probably be in person in the evenings again. So other than that, I think that's all we have. We're looking at doing the state of the town, but that probably won't be held until March at this point.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Town planners report. I know you made you have a little presentation for us.
So just give me 1 second to try and share my video first. And then second, I'll show you. So I didn't necessarily make a presentation per se, but what I did include was, as I promised at the last meeting, there was a mention of a brochure that was shared previously, and I said that I actually had a brochure that I thought was perhaps what you were talking about. So I offered to share that with you and just see if that was what your committee was talking about, if that was what you wanted to take a look at. So let me just display this real quick for everybody to see if anybody is watching that. So just give me a minute. I'm trying to navigate on a tiny little screen. A bunch of different things here. Can you see my screen or no?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is that brochure that last year when I first started, the town manager asked me to look into reaching out to local businesses. And in particular, we were concerned with service businesses such as restaurants and places that were particularly of concern with regards to the impact that COVID had impacted with. So we created, or frankly, this is not what I created. This existed before, and we amended it per new names, new links, office numbers, and some COVID-related information. We had changed some stuff with outdoor dining because that was relevant information. We offered this permit assistance, and we provided some information for temporary signage. So this is the brochure that I currently have in the office. We haven't really been doing much of this. It's available online, and we distributed it first last year in the winter. Then we had quite a bit of an outreach with outdoor dining element because I had a regulation that was being passed as well, that was very well received. And after that original effort, most businesses that were interested in doing that seemed to have been satisfied. So we really didn't have much in a way of inquiries on this. So, it's not like we've been walking around the town and handing these. Like I said, it's on the website. The website, by all accounts, is not the most user-friendly. I will admit to that, as pretty much, everybody who knows our website probably will think so. If anybody wants it, we can distribute this further on. If you or anybody else would like to have a link or share it, and this also can be shared on social media. That's, one of the easiest way for things like this to get around. So that's the brochure part. And then the second document that we were talking about were these reports with regards to what was issued in a way of building permits and what was issued in a way of planning permits. So the building department has supplied, and we had included that in your packet, a report of the most recent permits that were issued in our building office. They consist, as you can see, of some interior demolitions, complete renovations. I think one of the more exciting building permits was it is an interior renovation project, but it is for the medical building. It's essentially some kind of plasma center. It's this like medical thing. It's almost like a phlebotomy thing, but it's a kind of like high-end like plasma collection, like drawing center on Berlin Turnpike. That was a pretty interesting with regards to the building permitting process permit. But you can see this is electrical permits. For the most part, just normal stuff that you can see. And then on the building, on the planning end, we also included, I'm not sure how long of data did my front office include here, but this was maybe, oh, so since September. So she included everything that, as far as projects go. We also had a lot of regulation amendments and map amendments, and you will recall many nights of hearings with regards to some of those applications. But as far as development proposals, this is what was before the Planning and Zoning Commission with regards to the planning approval. So there were some buildings on Costello Road that needed site plan approvals. This is pending. There is an existing project, existing building on Newington Avenue. This applicant would like to have apartments on top of, you know, existing building. Freestanding sign on a gas station. There is an existing landscaper that would like to have up to 10 days of a year when he can do additional activity out there, things like that. So this is all in your package. So this is the stuff that kind of goes through our office. And if you are interested, we can periodically provide you with this kind of report. I always say best document is, especially with the planning, to keep that future agenda that we publish with the planning packets, because that gives everybody kind of notice ahead of time as to what is coming with the application, and that gets people involved a little bit ahead of time rather than, you know, when stuff is already permitted. So that's all that my report consists of. Thank you, unless you have questions.
Okay. Thank you, Renata. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Dana.
Renata, that is not the last brochure that we had made up. I just emailed it to you. The content was basically the same. The graphics are just different. And we didn't have anything about outdoor dining because at that point that wasn't an issue, because we worked on that in 2019, and COVID didn't exist yet. So
right, so I probably took what was the last version of your brochure, and then we amended it after I came on board to adjust it for outdoor dining and some contact information and that sort of thing. So that's what I think that brochure is. So if you would like that modified further, then, you know, let us know, but that is what I have right now.
And you're going to email us a copy of it?
Absolutely, yes. I believe it's posted online, but yes, we can email you the copy, and we can email
I'd
you
rather the email because trying to find it online is going to be difficult.
No problem.
It was in our packet, Dana.
Oh, it was? All right.
Yeah, with the minute, yeah.
I read the minutes, but I didn't scroll
It
down.
was in there, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Noreen, could you just note that Chip Stam joined the meeting at 7:08 this evening?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else for Renata? Okay. It's not on the agenda, but I thought our town manager, Keith Chapman, if you have anything to add or fill us in on anything, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, and everyone have a happy new year. I do want to just advise all of you that the staff is working very hard on developing opportunities in the town. We have concluded without a question that we need to grow the grand list. And coupled with that, we need to stop spending. Otherwise, we're going to be in big trouble down the road. So I just want to let you know that we are, just this week alone, I think we're meeting with 3 or 4 different developers on projects that are already ongoing through the process of approvals. And I'm pleased to say that of all the projects that we have talked about in the last year and a half, all those projects are still moving forward. It does take a long time, but I'm very pleased with Renata and her team and the whole economic development team that we have in town. And I think the COVID is going to be around for quite a while, but I don't see that interfering greatly with our efforts on economic development. So I think good news is coming down this year. I think you're going to see more shovels in the ground as we move forward, and things are actually looking up in that area of the town. So thank you for all your help, and I'll try to attend your meetings and give you updates as I can.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will say that last night, Renata didn't mention it, but Planning and Zoning had a meeting last night with the town council. First time in many years that occurred at the request of Renata to talk about the railroad station that either will hopefully end up on Cedar Street or at Newington Junction. I know there's a lot of different opinions on where it should end up, but I think the town needs a railroad station. And I think that we all need to strive and work towards getting a station at one of those locations. We'll be one of the few towns that don't have a railroad station if we miss the opportunity now. So I thought the dialogue last night was very good. And I'm hopeful that moving forward, Renata is going to take the lead on doing some further research with DOT. But we definitely see the benefits.
You're okay.
Somebody's talking with their mic. Okay, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Counselor Rada, then Dana, then Leslie, please. Kim, do you have any, you had your hand up, Kim Rada.
Sorry, yeah, that was by mistake. Sorry about that.
No problem. Dana, then Leslie, please.
Yeah, so I never lowered my hand from the last time.
Okay, Leslie.
Thank you. I was curious to know, I saw that the Keeney property had closed in the past couple of weeks. I was curious to know if they had shared their plans with the town on what they were going to do with the property.
We have met with the new buyers of the property several times at the site and in the town hall. They're scouting out all the possibilities of how that building can be revitalized and reused. I know they're meeting with a number of potential occupants. I don't think that they're seeking to change the appearance of the building. Some interior work may result as depending on who occupies, but I think you'll see overall the building and the property will remain pretty much as it is, hopefully with a lot of employees and a lot of cars and trucks outside, however.
That would be great if they could employ some, that would be great if they could employ some of the residents.
Yep, that's been one of the discussions we've had with them. They clearly understand how important it is for local residents to have employment, and they know that they're in a prime location for anyone living in town. It's convenient to get to, so I think we're going to see some good things come out of this.
Okay, anyone else? Dana, your hand's up. I don't know if you have a question or you just don't want to. Thank you.
I don't know what's happening. It just keeps going up. I guess
Okay.
the computer knows I'm a big mouth and thought, ooh, she hasn't talked about.
Anything else for our town manager? Okay, old business, the beautification. I did not have a chance before the meeting to go up and see Janet to see what our budget was. Today was the last day to submit the budget for next year, so she was they're kind of crazy. So I'll put that on my list so we know how much we have to do something for the rest of the year. And my understanding is we will have a budget in the next year's budget. And once I get a number, I'll let everyone know. Anything from anyone on the beautification? Yes, Dana.
For real, raise hand this time. Yes. Will our budget from this year, will the balance roll over, or does it get returned back to the town and then we start at the new budget?
The way the budget works for departments is that if you don't spend it, you lose it. I'm assuming that would be the same way for our budget. So I will get a number of how much we have left. And maybe you guys can think of some ways to utilize that to beautify the town.
Sounds good.
Okay, any new business? Seeing none, we'll go to public participation. I do believe, are there, I see that Bill DeMayo is in attendance. Do you have anything to add, Mr. DeMayo? I don't know how to let you talk, Bill. I think you can just unmute yourself. Oh, good.
How does that work? Is that okay?
Okay, yep, you're talking now.
All righty. Happy New Year, everyone. No, I don't have too much to add, except that I know I watched your previous meeting. I don't know if it was the last one or 2 months ago. And we were fully aware of those benches that were at the waterfalls and just they're $2,000 a piece. I know there was a question of how much they are. We want to standardize the benches for Mill Pond Park and all the park system. And we're trying to secure funding for $8,000 for 4 of them, including a 4-by-6 foot concrete foundation to be put underneath it so that they would not be vandalized or walked away with. So we are working on it. It's just a matter of trying to secure the funding for it. And once we do that, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a time for shipping. Everything's been about 3 to 4 months for everything. So it has not been ignored. We're working on it.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Gail, you had your hand up.
It was for public participation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to talk now? We can jump back to public participation.
Okay, yeah, because I know as liaisons, we're not supposed to. But anyway, I just did have a question for Renata or Keith. In the past, we had, I mean, it's exciting that there are new businesses or whatever, coming into town, the building permits and whatever, but is there a listing or something about the number of vacancies, commercial vacancies that there are in town? Because, for example, I walk a lot, and I mean, vacancy on Kids Lane where the massage school used to be. I mean, that's been vacant for a long time. There's, I mean, there's buildings that seem, you know, to be empty for 2, 3, even more than that years. I was just wondering if there's a listing of those vacancies, because I know one of the things that I think as a body we wanted to do is encourage reuse and redevelopment rather than, you know, building on you know, new construction, because empty, unused commercial property isn't necessarily attractive either. So I was just wondering whether we're keeping track of that. Thank you.
I do not believe that we have a list of commercial vacancies. I think I could look into that. I think there might be one department that might have perhaps best understanding as to how many, or, you know, what is vacant. The best knowledge of that could probably be the tax assessor's office. So let me look into that a little bit.
Right, because
But on the planning,
now the previous economic development director, we had asked him several times for a listing like this, and he was pretty much hands off. He goes, I'm not a commercial realtor. That's not my job. I shouldn't be, you know, keeping track of that. That's up to the, you know, individual commercial realtors should be, you know, promoting the town. But I think now that we have a very active and successful internal economic development team, that type of listing might be worthwhile to have on hand for you guys to have knowledge of as you're approached by different developers.
so I suppose Keith is in the room, so he probably would be better to advise this a little bit further. But what I can say is, let us look into this. Let us talk about it, and perhaps we can look into that.
Okay, thank you.
I will say that, you know, the larger empty buildings we are fully aware of. The ones that we may not have a good list on are the small businesses that will say come and go within the shopping centers, and you know, the strip malls and so forth. So, but that's a good idea. I think we should develop one. It's just a matter of how do we get that information, and let us work on that. I think it would be helpful for us and for you to know what is available out there, and know what businesses have left and where they've gone, because many of them leave one area of Newington and move to another. So let us work on that, and we'll get back to you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana?
Hi, up for real again. This is more of a park and rec area, but since we brought up the benches, I was wondering, Bill, if you guys were going to offer to do sponsorship of the benches, like, you know, put a plaque in the memory of your loved one for X amount of dollars to help you offset. Just wondering if that was a thought.
Yeah, the Parks and Recreation Board has a policy regarding how to memorialize a bench. It's $2,000 per bench, and we've sold, maybe half a dozen to a dozen throughout the park system, along with naming of trees is the same type of thing. So yes, we're accepting it, and all you have to do is write a check to Newington Parks and Recreation for $2,000, and we'll put your name on it.
How do you promote that?
Through the brochure or through the news releases and social media.
Okay.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
New business. We don't have any. Public participation again. Keep track. Any commissioners' comments?
I think Gail mentioned that massage building on Kids Lane. I think from our assessment board, I think that building recently changed hands, so something may, turn up. But I think that maybe the tax assessor knows a lot about these vacant properties. So hopefully
Yes.
we'll get a list together.
Yes, Dana.
My guess is the tax assessor may not really know which are vacant as opposed to just, being there. But it's at least, if we could at least get a list of businesses. But like, I don't know, if you have like a large building in one of the industrial parks that then has smaller little things in it, I don't know. This might be you need a feet on the sidewalk type of project.
Well, every spot is paying property tax. Every business is paying their personal property tax. So when they stop, he knows, that they've left.
Yeah.
But I know the massage place, they did change hands recently. So
Mhm.
hopefully they're going to do something with the building.
Any other commissioners' comments? Okay,
No.
can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes. A
Yep.
second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. See you next month.
Okay. See you next month. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Stay healthy.